Everyone, welcome to a new market recap. Um, it has been a while since I've done a video, but I think it's time for some new videos coming up. And I promise you all to review Euro's price action on a weekly basis. So I've been marking out and making notes on every single setup that has been created within London Open and New York Open. So within my sessions, and here you can see all the text and notations I made on every setup, so we can go over it and review them more efficiently. So here I have the week and day separator. So we're going to do day by day. So here's Monday. We're going to look at all these setups that has been formed on Monday, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. So let's start off with Monday's PA. Here I have another screen, so I will be using the playback tool, so we can just mark out the levels before session and look how I would have played the levels and everything. So yeah, let's see. So let me see. Here was the setup. I think it was this level here, right there, and 5 sweep, as you can see. Then we had the break and mark structure right there, but I will just use levels like this. And then there was also, let me see, a level where I wanted to TP my, I think it was this one. There's also a level here, this one, a 5 sweep and 5 break. Let's go over to the M1. Yeah, let's mark this out here, this level here. Let me extend it right there. So yeah, at 8 AM I had marked out 2 and 5 fractals, this one here for sells and this one here for possible buys, but I didn't want to buy anything. I just wanted to sell into this level. Usually I just aim for 3R, but let me see how H1 looked like. There was a reason why. Yeah, there was a H4 break here, as you could see, right there. So there was a H4 break on Friday's close, and then price pulled back. I rejected here. There was like H4 breaker zone, breaker mark structure. Price came back to retest this. So I was only looking for sells at that point. So this level here, as I marked out, was only level for a possible bounce or ATP, objective, targets, whatever you want to call it. So I wanted to sell it and then aim for this one, aim for this level here. So let's see, I had this level marked out. I think I used this, no wait, is it the high? I think I used this. Last down candle before the sweep. So this is your M1 breaker zone. Let's see if it's correct, yeah. So I had limits there for a short, aiming for this level here. It was like 5R, I think. So let's see how that played out. Yeah, price basically, here you can see how London Open started. The green box is London Open. So session open for me. And as you can see at 8 AM right here, price just started to fall off without the return to the origin, RTO, retest, etc. And the objective I wanted to TP has been hit. So I think I removed my limit here. Let me see how this session eventually went. Let me see. There was nothing any. Yeah, that was it basically. So this objective has been crushed. No longs. H4 was bearish. There was the H4 breaker zone retest. Quite textbook here, but no RTO. So that sucked. But yeah, part of the game anyways. Let's continue. So I think, yeah, London Open session has been finished here. So I was just waiting on the sidelines for New York Open to come up. So let's go to New York Open. right there. So yeah, price was leaving a bearish M5 fractal here, right there, M5 market structure break there. So there was a bearish setup to be played here, but price was retesting the let me see, yeah, right there. Price was retesting the M1 breaker zone before New York open. So I'm only allowed to set limits at New York open, and yeah, this level has already been tested before that, so this is invalid for me because I want my retests. I want my levels to be untested before New York open started. So when price comes in, it has to be at New York open, and the level also has to be untested. And this was tested, so no longs for me here. As you could see, New York open started, and it rallied straight into the highs. Look, New York open was like here, so there was no setup here for me. I avoided the loss by using sessions, basically, quite easy. There was this level here. Avoided the loss here because of no New York open. Also, price rated H1 swing low into the H1 D1 fair value. Let me hide this little quickly. Oh wait, this one. Let's see what I was talking about there. Oh, H4 FEG. Yeah, basically here. So H4 fair value gap here. See that? And price was rating a H1 low within that level. And also, this level was created before New York open, or this level has been retested before New York open. So there are two reasons to not take this sell anyways. H1 rate into a H4 FEG, and also the M5 fractal that was created here was retested before New York open. So quite easy avoidance there. And then price was pushing quite hard from there. Let me see. Yeah, it was a quite hard push all the way back in the H4 breaker zone. There was this level here. And price was actually rating a H4 high within. Let me mark yes, sweep. And it also took out a H1 high within that level. I think I had it reviewed already in the group. As you could see, quite hard push back in the breaker zone, and price was still bearish basically because of this H4 breaker mark structure. Price did actually bounce quite hard up this level, but it was still bearish for me, and especially after this reaction has been neutralized of this H4 high and a H1 sweep within, because this level, yeah, swept. You see that? A sweep there, and then it was rejecting. So at this point, I was looking for sells in New York open because of this rejection here and a possible anticipation of a H4 sweep there, of this high here. So I was just stalking for sells at this point. Let me see. Price was actually giving a long, you see that? M5 break, M5 sweep and an M5 break right there, because price closed as a break, and then it retests. But I didn't want to buy anything because price was rating a potentially rating a H4 high, and was also already sweeping a H1 high. So I was only looking for sells at that point. So yeah, I was quite aggressive with this one because usually I only look for clean sweeps on the M5, but here price actually broke above. But my buy was bearish, and I was expecting a pullback, so I did actually risk this. Sometimes I risk it, you know. I prefer to wait for clean sweeps, but sometimes it's just bait, you know. You know that price wants to move lower. Let me use no. So false sweep here, but price broke market structure straight away after 2 candles, and then let me see how. Yeah, break a market structure there. Let me mark out the level here. M1 breaker zone there, break a market structure, and I sold the level, and I knew in advance that I wanted to close the sells at 6 p.m. my time. So this was just that's here. So let me just play it. So let me see where 6 p.m. is. Not yet. Yeah, so around here. I think I closed it around here. 6 p.m. I closed it for like, let me see, or 1.6 hour, 1.7 hour ish. It was like 1.5 hour, excluding the commission and everything. So my first win of the week was here, a 1.5 hour trade. Nothing major, but still a win, you know. Still 3% because I'm risking 2% of my trades. So that's quite decent. Can't complain there. And that was it for Monday. So let's go over to Tuesday. Tuesday's trading started here. Let me see. Tuesday's trading. Let me just go to H1 and then just play it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's my session open. Let me see how the H1 was looking like, because we had a H4 rate there, but then price also swept the H4 low here. So let me just remove that one. H4 sweep there in a bearish H4 breaker zone, and then price was rating H4 low here for potential push higher. So at this point I was looking for buys, if I'm correct. Wait, let me see what I was doing here. M5. Let me reset this. Yeah, let me check. This is 8. Oh wait, 8 AM is actually right here. So let me mark out the potential levels and 5 fractals, etc. Is it low? No. Let's really test it if it did. Let me just see what I did here. There was, yeah, I think I longed this. Let me see. If I sweep there, so it's pushing, no break yet. There should break. So let me see how H4 looked like. Yeah, H4 did actually sweep, but there was no close yet, I think, and it closes at 11. So I made a mistake there for longing, because the H4 never really closed as a sweep, and price was still bearish because there was a H4 rate into a breaker zone, so sales were still on, and I was buying this level, unfortunately. I think I took a loss there. So yeah, price had a sweep and a break there, and H4 sweep, and H4 actually never closed as a sweep, so yeah, there's a break there, and I think I longed this for a loss. Let me see, yeah, it was -1 R there, it was this one. So let's go further. Playing against the H4 sweep there, so it was stupid for me. I should have waited for H4 to close as a sweep, but it never happened. So yeah, let me go back to this session indicator. Go back to the M5. So I took a loss here, and then price was leaving a short here, a sell. See that? Price was leaving a sell there, M5 sweep, and M5 break, but I never took this. The reason, let me see what the reason was. Leaving the sales, price is bouncing hard out of H4 low and H1 RC. So price took the lows again, but it was bouncing out of a H1 FEG, as you could see here, right there. Yeah, price was bouncing out of a H1 FEG, so I didn't want to risk a sell from there. It was also a potential H4 sweep still. I know it never closed, but yeah, price was sweeping H1 low into a H1 FEG, so I skipped the sell, and I'm happy about it because it blew straight through, so I avoided a loss there. So let's see what New York Open had to offer for the day. So yeah, it blew through. -1R for London Open on Tuesday, and I had a 1.5R on Monday. So I was 0.5R in plus on Tuesday after London Open. So let's see what New York Open had to offer. Just go through. Okay, wait. Yeah, price was leaving some fractals here. He's even breaking the M5 here. And at 11, H4 was a sweep. You see that? Yeah, H4 had closed as a sweep, so it was a confirmed H4 sweep into a H1 FEG. So I think I wasn't looking for sells. I would have preferred buys, I think. Let me see. Let me just mark this out here. Potential level. Let me see. Break a mark structure here. RTO came at 11. See that? So basically valid if you sold this here. But it was against the H4 sweep because at 11 AM price had closed as a sweep, so I didn't take this one. Let me see if I had any. I had no marks there because it was against the H4 sweep. But because here, when price came back in this level, yeah, at 11 AM there was a H4 sweep, so I wouldn't have taken this, but it paid off in the end because this did actually TP. Let me see how much R that did. Yeah, TP would have been hit. I didn't take this. Let me see. If there was anything else to play. Stacked fractal within, right there. Sweep, and the break. But it was still against the H4 sweep for me. And I still wanted longs. So let's see. New York Open has started. Price pushed back in. No longs, nothing. No F5 fractals to long off. See that? Let me see if it paid that again. Yeah, it was another. Didn't take the sell as it was convinced that left price came out of H4 sweep as potential H4 higher low. So with that being said, you see that? It was a H4 sweep here, but it was also a H4 swing low being formed. So we had a higher low on the H4 with the H low here and the H low here. So I only wanted longs at that point. And I think this level provided once again because it was stacking M5 within. Let me see if it provided. Yeah, I provided. You see that? So I I missed two plays here because I was anticipating higher levels because of the H4 sweep and H4 higher low. So no setups from me being taken here, and I think this was it for New York. Yeah, New York has been finished here. Yeah, some quite bugging PA for me on Tuesday. But oh well. Okay, let's see on Wednesday what we had. Some quite some PA here. Okay, let's just go to London Open. Five, six, 7, 8. Yeah, London Open started right here. So price in the end pushed up following the H4 higher low that I mentioned. I was expecting it to blow through on Tuesday, but it never happened. It actually gave sells from the stacked M5. I missed them both. So now price pushed up again from this H1 FEG that I marked out on Monday. Let's see how precise it was. I think Asia provided some longs here, or yeah, not Asia. 10 p.m. out of session for me. So let's see what we have. I'm gonna open started. Let me see how H1 was looking like. That was any H4. Oh, potential H4 rate right there. See that? Remove this real quick. Yeah, potential H4 rate right there. Let me see what I did. Yeah. Yeah, there it was. M5 sweep right into London Open. M5 breaking mark structure right here as well. So M5 fractal was confirmed. I think I had my limit in this level, unfortunately, right there. Yeah, I had my limit in this level because this had a quite long wick, and usually when my breakers have a long wick, I just try to use the body of the breaker like this, because my ICM there was a body actually, or just the rate candle. With an ICM mark there was a body on this breaker, a very tiny one. So I used this level for a sell, but the price never came back, unfortunately. See that? It's swerved me right there. I was also anticipating H4 to sweep. See that? It was above a H4 high into a H4 breaker zone, so sales were on at that point. So yeah, let's see what we have left. So price actually never came back in the level, and then price was also, let me see what we had. Yeah, price stepped into a bearish H4 50 breaker zone. So basically there was a H4 sweep from here from Monday. There was also a 50 breaker zone there. So price was, let me just draw it up real quick. Yeah, it was this one here. See that? It was a H4 sweep there, and the M50 breaker zone. And price was raiding H4 within it M50 breaker zone. It was basically stacking because here there was also a M50 breaker zone. See that? Also a H4 raid into a 50 breaker zone. A new H4 break into H4 M50 breaker zone. So sales were on at that point. So let's see. So I was expecting price to pull back if it could create a bearish M5 fractal at the limit in the body of the breaker, because I used the full breaker zone. Because if I used the full breaker zone, I couldn't get 3R to FTA. FTA means first trouble area. There was a bullish M5 fractal there, so I wanted the body. Let me go back here. Because there was also a M5 fractal for longs here, which I actually took as well, because price didn't close as a H4 sweep yet, so it could still push, and price still at the H4 higher low, so I was still expecting longs to happen. So at this point I was basically neutral. So if there were any M5 fractals for sells, I would take. If there were 5 fractals for longs, I would take as well, because of the H4 higher low. This H4 sweep was never confirmed yet because the close comes at 11 p.m. my time. So yeah, swerve there, and then I think, let me go back to here. Just mark this out here real quick. So I got swerved here, and the reason I used the body was also because of the wick. But also because I wanted 3R if I TP'd this level here, because I was expecting bounce from there. And if I use the full breaker zone from there to here, 3R would be below the level. Would be like, yeah, would be here. But I wanted my 3R to be at this level, so I used the breaker zone right there, and then TP at 3R, 3.2R for commissions. but it never failed me. And then because of the H4 high low, and H4 hasn't been closed as a sweep yet, I was also putting longs in this level. So I had long limits here, TPing for 3.2R, something like that. And price came into the level and it TP'd. See that? On ICM it never took the low. I took a trading view, also didn't. Quite some drawdown there, but it never actually took my stop out and went to TP in the end. And from this point I told myself, if H4 closed as a sweep at 11 PM, I'm not going to look for longs anymore. So 3.2R on Wednesday. Let me see. And then price actually came back into this level after neutralizing the liquidity that was resting on 5 fractal basically. You can see came low. I think still tapped into this full zone. I think I had a note about that. Yeah. Here. I had no note about that. I think I made a note in the group about that because price had neutralized liquidity that was resting in this M5 fractal. So at this point I could have set limits in the full zone, anticipated 3R to be hit now, but I didn't. A missed opportunity in my opinion, but I made my R's of this long, so I was quite satisfied already. So let's go. Yeah, so at this point I think, let me open the session again. Almost 11 AM. Yeah, 11 AM right there. So at this point H4 has been swept. See that? There was a H4 sweep close there. And then it was quite annoying because there was an M5 play there. See that? M5 RSC, and also M5 fractal, I think. Let me see. Right there. Yeah, right there. This level here. There was an M5 fractal with a H4 sponsorship, because at this point H4 swept. It was outside of my session, so I couldn't sell this level, which was quite annoying because it was quite textbook in the end. It tapped in and then straight TP. I think a few people in the group took this short actually. I think Ben took this, Lid took this, and I also think a few others took it. Yeah, sometimes I think if there's a H4 sweep at 11 AM and a clean M5 setup, I think I have to risk it by taking a setup outside of session, but I still have to properly test that, because I see it a lot when H4 sweeps at 11 AM and leaves the M5 setup, it bangs a lot. So maybe it's worth taking these setups, but I still have to gather stats on that. So let's see. That was just very stupid of me. It was just counter trading the trend outside of session. I don't know why I did that. Actually, know why I did it. It was so stupid. Because here was an M5 sweep, M5 break. It was outside of session, so I should never have taken this. I skipped the sell, and then I took the buy. It was quite stupid. You see, I'm still human in the end, making some pair mistakes here. Yeah, it was this level here. So I took -1R on this short, which could have been avoided by just being disciplined and staying within my sessions. But oh well, we move. So I took 3.2R on this, so basically 3R on this, and then I took -1R on this sell here, which was quite stupid and could have been avoided. But yeah, mistakes being made. And then there was a super textbook play right in New York Open, which I totally missed. Let me see. Our price was pushing down. New York Open started, think this M5Y was being rated. Yeah, clean rate, clean break. It was super textbook. Right there. So rate and 5 sweep and 5 break of mark structure, and then very clean setup. Quick TP as well. I totally missed it. So yeah, it came in, and then it fell off quite nicely. Yeah, it was super clean all the way. See that? New York Open started, pushed up, suspicious rally into the M5 high here, sweep, break, RTO, super clean, but I missed that one, unfortunately. Then 5 setup gave 3R and came unexpected for me. There was no valid reason for skipping this play. Missed opportunity there. So yeah, quite annoying, but yeah. And look how far it fell off. 11R or something, 12R, I don't know. So Thursday, I was basically sidelines all day, and I had no notes on Thursday, so I would just skip this day and go over to Friday, because Friday there was some more things to talk about. Because Thursday there was some S&D in here going on, and I just totally forgot to update all the notes, and so I will just skip Thursday, and next week I will make sure to make notes on every single trading day and every single setup, so I can cover the entire week. So for now I'll just leave Thursday and go over to Friday, because the video is going to be a little bit too long in my opinion. So yeah, let's go to Friday. Quite some things happened here. Let me see. Let me just go over to the H4 real quick and see what we have. So we had this was Thursday's close here. Daily sweep into a daily fair value gap. So price was pushing up. And on the H4 we were still bearish basically. Let me see. Let me just mark it real quick what we had. Sweep there. Sweep there. Oh wait, there. And the M15 was taken 3 times, which was quite clean. Let me just mark it out real quick. Right there. 1, 2, 3. So H4 sweep and 50 RTO, H4 sweep and 50 RTO, H4 sweep and 50 RTO. Quite some clean PA, and then with the daily sweep and prices pushing higher. And I told myself on Thursday evening that if this high would break, I would expect Friday to expand higher into the highs, or at least a attempt to do that. But let me see. Here we're at the break at 11 p.m. So at this point I was expecting price to push higher, but we were still in this bearish zone. Wait, in this bearish M50. We were still in this bearish H4 M15 breaker zone, and we did actually break H4, but let's see our price. Right there, we had a H4 sweep, double H4 sweep. You see that? H4 sweep and H4 sweep. After Friday's PA, for me, it confirmed that a H4 sweep weights more than a H4 break. So with a H4 sweep there, and let me see. Go to M5, open sessions, right there. Reset. Yeah, London Open started. There was no M5 fractal to work with. Let me see what I did. Did I had anything? Yeah, so basically because of the H4 break, I was looking for longs initially. There was a level here, right there, and here, and 5 fractal there. right there. So there was an M5 fractal there, but the fractal had been invalidated because it had the M1 breaking mark structure and RTO, and it pushed away 3R from the level already at Asia. So for me this level was invalidated because it pushed 3R. If this never broke, I think I would have longed this and took the L, but here you can see I tested one time and here again. So I tested 2 times before it came back, so it was an invalid level to long for me. And then price swept the H4 high again without a close yet, because there was no close yet, but it did actually took the high out again. So let me remove this one because this is validated. And there was another fractal right here. Fractal there and a fractal here. I mean a sweep here and a break and mark structure there. So M5 sweep, M5 break. Price took the H4 high, came down lower, but it RTO'd before London Open. Because let me just mark it out right here. As you can see, it came back in the level at 5 minutes before session open. So when it comes in before session, this level is already invalidated for me. It came in and yeah, it broke through. You see that? So a loss avoided because of using session times, and this level here was also invalidated. So there were no longs, and I know some people in the group were actually right on direction and they tried to sell this level here because there was a H1 sweep there and a M1 breaker zone there, but I think it never came back for those that wanted to sell it. See that it was all the way here. Didn't even retest the M1 structure here and there. It's basically a failed return to origin. Big swerve for those that wanted to sell, and I luckily didn't got them longs provided of the M5 fractals because I was wrong about direction for real because of the H4 break that we had on Thursday evening. So yeah, no trades taken here. Dry London Open session for now. So the entry came before 8 AM London Open, and this level was tested for 3R already. No trades there. Then it fell off quite hard. So at this point, it was quite clear to me that H4 sweep outweighs a H4 break, especially when it's inside a bearish level, because we had stacked M50 H4 sweep and M50 breaker zones, BZs. So yeah, second sweep there, and then it fell off quite hard. Let me see what we had next. Reset chart. Let me just out a little bit. And then 11 AM game, so no trade zone here. Let me see what New York Open had in petto for us. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm missing a setup here. So very clean setup again. Following the H4 raid, there was a M5 fractal created right there. Very sneaky one. You see that? H1 M5 swing high there. It was higher than the left one and the right one, and then the candle next swept it. Oh, see, that was a sweep. Tiny one, but it was a sweep. And then even M5 broke there. See, that broke. Let me go to the M1, and it was still within the London Open session. See, green box, it's still till 11 right there. So this was more than valid to take, and I missed it, to be honest. I totally missed it because I was so confused about price moving lower so hard here, because I was personally expecting higher price to happen because of the H4 break. But then after the H1 rate confirmation, because H4 rate confirmation is all the way back here at 11 AM, but H1 swept a H4 high into a 50 breaker zone. So yeah, this was a faded sell, to be honest. Within session, there was Asia high manipulation here into some resistance, also above H4 high. So this was a faded sell, and I missed it completely. I should have taken it, to be honest, because the RTO came before 11 AM, so faded entry, and then it was a quick TP. I think, let me move it like that. Let me see if it. Yeah, so price came back in this level, RTO'd here before 11 AM, and then it pushed to 3R. I think if I would have included commissions, I wouldn't have got an exit, but maybe I would exit manually after this long wick, after taking this low here, and maybe I would just take 3R or something. But yeah, I think Darwin, our admin in the group, he took this very clean setup. He was on point about direction, because he also tried to sell this, but he never got filled, and then he got filled in this one, so he totally deserved that play, in my opinion. So let's go further. London Open is finished here. Let's go over to New York Open. Right there. Oh wait, let me just go to that file. What I'm doing, stupid. So yeah, Friday's PA is always clean. It's insane. Here with the M5 sweep, M5 break. Let me see what we had in my notes chart here. Yeah, so the notes had a valid M5 M1 setup provided with inline open session following the H4 sweep, but I missed it, unfortunately. And then yeah, so the price was stacking here. So at 11 AM, right there, this H4 sweep was confirmed. So at this point, sales were on because we have H4 sponsorship, and price is coming out of a bearish level still on the higher time frames on the H4. So with the M5 sweep here, M5 breaking mark structure here. So let's see. I think I had my limit initially, and then I pulled it, and then I put it back on, luckily. Yeah, right there. So let me see when New York Open starts. Yeah, New York Open starts at 2 PM my time. So at this point I had my limit set here with stops above, and let's see what price was doing, because price was giving a M5 fractal just below my level that I want to sell. Yeah, right there, right here. Sweep, M5 sweep, M5 break. But I didn't want to sell this because of the clean highs that were forming below my initial level, and was also in line with the daily open. And price loves to tap into the fractals or breaker zones or support and resistance levels that are aligned with daily open. So I didn't want to sell this, and I luckily haven't, because let me see what I had in my notes. Yeah, I've got some notes here. At the limit in this level that I just mentioned, expecting price to blow out the LTF highs into the level. So here are the LTF highs. Price never came back as it rejected over M5 below. So this level was rejected. Weekly open aligned with this level, so there was a weekly open in this level as well. Let me see. Good choice for not selling this level, as it would have never done 3R. From the M1 breaker zone, the price still reached for the higher M1 M5 M1 rate, M5 M1 setup to rate a newly formed M30 swing high within. So these LT high lower time frame highs actually formed a M30 swing high just below it. And when that happened, I put back my limit in the level, anticipating price to take out the M30 high into the level, because M30 is still a sweet spot for rates and everything for me, because of my past and M30 sweeps I played. So I still love it when price leaves M30 swing highs below my M1 breaker zones. So yeah, let's see. This was the level actually, right there. So I didn't sell this, luckily. And when it rejected, I was quite pissed because I was my limit that was resting here got swerved and the level below was actually playing out. I thought it was playing out, but then it pushed back up. It never did 3R. You can see that visually. See that it was no 3R. It was like 2R maybe max, and then it pushed back up. So let me remove this level because it's not significant anymore. And then I put back my limits in the level after the M30 high creation. Let me go back here. Here you can see what I mean with the M30 high creation. Right there. There's the M30 swing high. See that? M30 swing high was created after this candle closed. Then price spiked into it, take out the M30 high into the M5, M1 fractal that was selling. It was a very nice and quick setup on Friday evening, or on Friday afternoon. So yeah, entry was filled there, and then went straight to TP. Let me see if this was already 3R there. Short. There. Stops above. Yeah, there was like 3.8R, but I TP'd 3R including the commissions, so 3.2R ish. And that was it for me for the week. So yeah, tapped the level, moved lower, and was quite clean. And then even if you missed a sell, you could even enter later because there was a new M5 stacking within the zone. There was an M5 sweep into the level I sold. M5 broke, and then even if you missed the sell, you could have entered again. Or even if you took the sell and you are really focused about getting your R's, you could even sell this again. Because it did retest here, but there was no 3R done, so still valid. And then price tapped in, and then it fell off nicely to end the week with some textbook plays. You see that? I don't know where it ended in the end, but very clean PA. So that was it for this weekly video. I'm going to do this on a weekly basis. I will just mark out every setup that occurred during the days and the sessions, and then I will review them end of the week, so you all can peek into my thought process about why I take certain particular setups, and why I avoid setups, etc. So my execution was quite poor this week. I was taking it easy because I'm quite done with the year, to be honest. I'm still going to take it easy. I will just try and pick some setups that I like and that fit within my direction. And I think this week netted me like 5.7R, 3.2R on Friday. Wait, let me just zoom out and go to Monday. On Monday I did 1.5R. Then on Tuesday, Tuesday's trading, I took -1R there. That was it for Tuesday. Then on Wednesday I took 3.3R on the long, and then I made a mistaken execution, very poor discipline. It was very bad. Selling against the H4 sweep, selling against 5 fractals that were in line with the H4 sweep. So, and also outside of session, so I took -1R there. So 1.5 -1, 0.5R, 3.8R here, -1, so 2.8R. On Thursday I take no trades. I was mainly sidelines, and then on Friday I took 3.2R. So I ended the week with 5.8R. So that's quite good. I met my objective even with poor execution, even with missing setups, like did this one here and the one I missed here, very textbook one what day was it? On Wednesday. I still managed to catch my weekly objective, so I'm happy about that. I could have done better in the end, but I can't complain. I took it very easy. So that was it for the weekly review. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and I will see you tomorrow.